Biden's cash-free central bank digital currency coming this December.
Here's how astrologers are predicting world events. They're using mundane astrology, which is the astrology of world affairs and events. It does differ from your typical astrological observations because it's looking at the world at large rather than a single entity. So how can you learn more about mundane astrology? Let's find out. Starting with the planets, the sun is the head of state, leaders, prime ministers, people in a position of authority. The moon is the people, public attention, crowds and masses. Mercury is transportation, media, press, books, journalism, news, television, commentators, teachers, intellects, etc. Venus is anything and everything, beauty and entertainment, actors and actresses, athletes, musicians, artists, children, and marriage. Mars is the police, police guards, military leaders, engineers, doctors, attacks to a country, conflicts and disputes, epidemics and pandemics, violence and war, and anything related to fire. Jupiter is religion, religious leaders, religious beliefs, priests, law, lawyers, the judicial system, and philosophy. Saturn represents local law enforcement, executives, the executive branch, civil service employment, government property, public buildings and parks, the elderly, large tragedies, epidemics and pandemics also, and scarcities. Uranus represents political tension, riots, rebellion, strikes, scientific discoveries, inventions, labor organizations, and explosions. Uranus tends to be more right-winged in politics, more towards libertarianism. Neptune represents socialism, socialized medicine and hospitalization, charities, fraud, loss, illusion, spirituality, addiction, and drugs. In politics, Neptune is liberal as it is more left-winged. Finally, Pluto represents political underground, sexual abuse, corruption, organized crime, transformation, psychology, wealth, and the collective unconsciousness. Onto the houses, the first house represents how the country, city, corporation, or entity comes across to others. The second house represents the economy, revenue, currency, banks, money market, trade, stock exchange, property, and possessions. The third house represents short-term transportation, communication, information, news, media, the internet, post office, mail, magazines, publications, elementary and secondary schools. The fourth house represents homeland security, border protection, property and landowners, home, land, the workers of the land, foundations, and the initiation of the country/city. The fifth house represents entertainment, amusement, sporting events, theater, gambling, anything recreational, children, and the nation's birth rate. The sixth house represents healthcare, public health, hospitals, epidemics and pandemics, national services, civil servants, and employment. The seventh house represents foreign affairs, partnerships with other nations, allies, and victims of events. The eighth house represents the nation's death rate, financial relations with other countries, the nation's debt, taxes, interest, and loans. The ninth house represents post-secondary education, religion, religious influence on the public, long-distance travel, and the judicial system. The 10th house represents people and power, the government, famous people and celebrities, reputation, and power. The 11th house represents groups and masses, the rebellious periods in the nation, idealism and hope. And finally, the 12th house represents prisons, asylums, endings, occult religions, and things that will eventually come to light that are hidden. I hope this helps you out on your journey. I'll see you next time.